So it's definitely been a while, and I'm just going to do a little unboxing. And tonight I decided I'm going to open a Willamette Pinot Noir from Oregon. It's the Onro, the Kilmore 2016, I think. This is like 13% alcohol. This is a fantastic, really well-made Pinot Noir. They got that wax top, so I'm just going to go right through it. But yeah, I've had this a few times now. I think I bought this store out of the last few they had. I doubt they have anything of this with this much age left. But just a good sub $40 Pinot. Pinots will cost you a bit more than most wines nowadays. Maybe minus Napa Cab as a barrier for entry. But you know, good Pinot, I feel like you gotta spend a few bucks. Good Cab, you gotta spend a few bucks. Not a ridiculous amount, but some $30 cabs that are great in the 30s, low 30s. I don't know how many low 30s great Pinots there are. I don't know. Because a bad Pinot is a bad Pinot. Some are over extracted and don't even taste like Pinot. Some are just really bad, sour, bitter, just not good. Don't even taste like Pinot. This has baking spice and strawberry, blackberry. Very, very, very aromatic. It's like a rhubarb thing, for sure. Yeah, very aromatic. Wild strawberry is really what it is. Yeah, it's like a Pinot. Great acidity, and the flavors that I've mentioned on the aroma are all on the palate. So it's got, you know, layers. It's really nice. I think this is $37-ish, $38-ish dollars. Not really something readily available, but a good Pinot nonetheless. From Willamette, which is more closely associated with Burgundy, the birthplace of Pinot Noir, versus, let's say, California. Now, I think the Pinots out of Santa Barbara County are phenomenal. I think the ones from Sonoma maybe are a little too big and bold and extracted. I have to try more from Santa Barbara. I really just think that's probably it. But I like Willamette, I like Burgundy. Certainly I could try some more from Santa Barbara, but we shall see. I mean, so far my favorite Pinots I've ever had are from Burgundy, but unfortunately they're a little bit more money. So, I went to a store down in Maryland called State Line Liquors, and I absolutely love this liquor store. I believe they have the trifecta of great things. An amazing beer selection, craft beer. They even have taps. An amazing hard liquor selection. Brown liquors, white liquors, cognac, bourbon, rum, scotch, all of it. They got a fantastic selection of all of those things. And then their wine selection is really great. It's got some eccentricity to it, a little eccentric. Some of the things they have, but they have things from Savoy, and they got a lot of Alsatian whites. I think they even had an Alsatian Pinot Noir, which I've never really seen before, or I've never had an Alsatian Pinot Noir. Some Greek wines, so they had a little less Greek than they normally do, and some of the I went specifically for a number of things, but this one Spanish white they always had there, they don't have anymore, which is a little disappointing, but the selection is really great. They even have a back room. I didn't go to the back room this time, I was a little limited by time, but these are the goodies that I dug out the day I went. So I talked about this wine, but I never showed this wine. This is the Tiburon, this is the grape Tiburon. So this is from the Côte de Provence, Clos, Sibonne, and Cuvée Tradition. And this is a rosé, and this rosé can age. This is a 2019, so normally you buy rosé super fresh, as possible, but this rosé absolutely can age. This rosé has class. It's also one of the more expensive ones. It's $32. Although that's a pretty good price for this wine. But this is a fantastic rosé. This might be the best rosé I've had to date. I think it is. I've had some amazing rosés this past summer, specifically from some other places. I think some New Jersey ones. But this is like in a league of its own. This is better than the Bandols, better than the one that always gets a pretty good amount of praise, which is, oh, which one is it? Gosh, I'm blanking on it right this moment. But it's like 50 or 60 bucks typically. That's good. It's just not great. Domaine Haute, I believe, is just overrated. It's good. It's fine. I just believe it's like $45, $50 now. I just don't think it's that good. This for 32, I think, is better and more complex. I've only had it once, so I'll be very excited to try it again, but I did have bought a second bottle of that, and I'll just show that next here. So I did not even know. So it looks like they have an Old Vines version. I don't know what I paid for this. It was probably $38, so $7 or $8 more, same vintage. And Cuvée de Vignette. This is called Cuvée de Tradition. Cuvée Spéciale de Vignette. I don't know. I'm assuming this is just older vine of the grape Tiburon. So that'll be awesome to try too. Really excited to have both of those. And I'm glad that I know that store has them. It is an hour and a half away, but it is what it is. I'll talk about this now. So, winery that's been coming up a lot in some of the videos I've been watching and just in a lot of lists. A wine enthusiast actually put this winery's Pinot Noir as their #1 wine of the year, and it's called Giant Steps, and it's out of Yarra Valley, Australia. So this is a Chardonnay. They had it there. I think it was 40 or 38. I've never had anything from Yarra Valley that I can recall. Some of the best Chardonnays I think out of Australia are Margaret River, all the way west. It kind of has a climate similar to Bordeaux, but this Yarra Valley and this Giant Steps winery is doing some great things to get #1 on wine enthusiast for the Pinot Noir. I saw this Chardonnay and I had to grab it, so it'll be interesting to try. This is 2021. This is very, very young, but super cool. Super excited to try that one of these days. So I'd love to get more of that. There's also some other Pinot Noirs from New Zealand got some pretty good ratings recently, and I'd like to get some of those if I could even find them. But like $45, $50, like 96, 97 rated. And I don't love the ratings and stuff, but you know, another region for great Pinot would be New Zealand. And I think there's a lot out of, well, it looks like Australia, maybe Yarra Valley, maybe some other places in Australia, a little cooler places are doing some good, cool climate type of Pinot Noirs. Anyway, so this is a recent Grand Cru from Rosacker, which is probably one of the, let's see if I remember. So Alsace only has, did I get this correct? No, there's different vineyards. So this is the Grand Cru Rosacker. So it's from there, Grand Cru Alsace 2015. So this has a little bit of age. So I love Alsatian Riesling. I always have. And I haven't had one in a while. I have one in my refrigerator from 2010. I've been waiting to try for a while. This is 2015. I will definitely be opening this sooner than later. I do not think this price was very high. I forget. I want to say in the 30s as well. It says over 40-year-old wines. There's something about Alsace and Chablis that I always mix up. One of them has like one singular Grand Cru. I'm pretty sure Alsace has like 51 or something vineyards, but they're all in the Grand Cru, and this is one of them. Rosacker. Not sure how to pronounce it. Either way, Grand Cru, Riesling, Alsace, which was sort of how I really got into Riesling, was some of the Alsatian Rieslings being my bridge to some other Rieslings and really starting to enjoy it. So then exploring more of Germany, exploring the Finger Lakes, exploring, some of them having some Rieslings out of New Jersey, but really when you're talking about Riesling, you're talking about Germany, Austria, Alsace, and Australia. So they had this Pouzy Vale, a museum reserve, the Contours Riesling, Eden Valley. So Eden and Clare Valley are two of the most well-known regions in Australia for Riesling. Now, maybe with the way Australia's changing, there's more. There seems to be a lot of inventiveness and creativity in Australia lately, that they're just planting things all over the place and trying a lot of different things. This is a 2011. No, this wasn't in a cooler or anything. It was on its side. It is screw capped, so this already has some age on it. But this will be bone dry and Eden Valley. So single vineyard. Super excited. Another Riesling there. So I bought all these white wines. I just talked about 2 rosés and 3 whites, and then another rosé. So as I had these in my cart, somebody working there mentioned if I ever had Carasuolu d'Abruzzo, and I said no, and I assume that just means a rosé made from the Montepulciano grape, I think. And I said no. She said it's not the Tiburon, but if I like Tiburon, I might like this. And this was $21 or $22. I figured I'd give it a shot. I've never had a rosé made from the Montepulciano grapes, so give it a shot. It does look a little darker, if I can tell, but we'll see. Yeah, it looks like, I mean, the Tiburon's kind of got like a light salmon color. This I could tell has a very deep color, but Montepulciano is a deeper colored grape, makes a deeper colored wine. I did buy 1 red. So I saw this Albe, and I feel like I've heard about this Barolo, and it should be traditional. It's using the traditional glass, the Albisa glassware, which typically means that this producer is doing it in a more of a traditional style than a modern style of Barolo. And I've never had it. It's $40, so I'd like to see if this is a bargain Barolo. There's not a lot of Barolos that are what you would call bargain. You do have to spend some money to get some of the good ones, and I believe that point of entry has gone higher over the years. But 40, see how this is, 2017, it's got a few years on it. I always love me a good Barolo, so. Though I had one the other day that was extremely muted, the Ratti 2018. I don't know what was wrong with it. It might be the first time I ever encountered a wine in what they call the dumb phase. It was just shut down. On the palate, it wasn't corked. It had tannin, it had acid, just lacked in all the flavor characteristics it should have. It didn't taste like wet carbon or anything like that, so I'm not quite sure. Finished it, but it never opened up even after 3 hours. Last wine, Herman J. Weimer Vineyard, so from the Finger Lakes, Extra Brut 2017. And this is from Seneca Lake AVA in the Finger Lakes, and I'm pretty sure, I didn't realize this, but I looked at it later, that this is Riesling. 100% Riesling. So I'm pretty sure I tried this when I was there. I bought this not realizing that I thought this was just their Blanc de Blanc Chardonnay that I had from there and I really liked. Thought it was excellent. I remember trying, maybe I didn't try their Riesling. You know, I did not try their Riesling. I'm wrong. I'm thinking of Constantine Frank, where I had their sparkling Riesling and I thought it was too acidic. This, I assume, is going to be acidic, but I wanted to come home with a sparkling Riesling from the Finger Lakes and I did not. So, well, now I did. Well, I got one and it was only in the 30s. So, 2017's got a few years on it. Made in the Champagne method, said, Méthode Champenoise. So, we'll see. We'll see. Bottled in 2018 and disgorged 4 years later. So it's had some time on its lees, 4 years, not bad. I could even see like particles floating, but sparkling Riesling, always exciting. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, oh no, 8 bottles. That's the order. So 1 red and a whole bunch of white in the middle of the winter here. I definitely need some weekday reds. I actually none. There are no weekday reds left here. I definitely have some whites now. Some of these Rieslings are never overly expensive, so I can easily drink them. That rosé, I know it's not the rosé time of year, but I don't really care. I really want to try that rosé, and if it's $22 and it's good, I'll seek out maybe that type of rosé again. I don't know. See how much I like it. I'm very finicky about rosé. The Tiburon has sort of changed my mind. Some of the rosés I had this summer, like I mentioned, have changed my mind a little bit, but then I've had some others that are just, They're just typically, identity crisis type of wine, but Well, I'm gonna go back to my Pinot, have some cheese, and that's it. Have a good night.